let's take up some important concepts here, which is important from the point of view of your examination, both the CET and the NEET. Okay. First one is the Woods reaction. You're all quite familiar with, isn't it? So this is basically used for the preparation of alkenes. In this case, the product that is formed will be having double the number of carbons than the reactant. So only drawback of this is that you can't prepare alkanes consisting of odd number of carbons. Like if you want to prepare propane, you won't be able to do that. It will be forming, if you attempt to do that, perhaps you can take, say for example, if you take chloromethane plus ethyl chloride, chloroethane, C2H6H5Cl, then use Na in presence of dry ether medium, then you end up getting, this will give its own Woods product, this one would give its own Woods product. In addition to that, you will get propane, that is CH3, CH2, CH3. That is a drawback. Hence, you cannot use. So I think in the first session I had told, when we did hydrocarbons, which is the alternate method for the preparation of alkenes having odd number of carbons. Anybody? Corey house synthesis. You are supposed to use this compound, R2, that is lithium cuprate, that is dialkyl lithium cuprate. That is the one which you should be using. R2CuLi. Okay. So this is an organometallic compound which will give you carbanion. So you can choose any haloalkane of this. Supposing you choose this, you want to prepare propane. So you can take this as CH3 twice CuLi. So when it gives this, you need to take 2 moles of that, and then you will get C2H5Cl plus C2H5Cl if you use. So one of the CH3 minus comes from here and forms a bond with this carbon which is bonded to chlorine. CCl bond is polar, you all know that. So therefore you get CH3, CH2, CH3. So this is one way of doing that. That is called as Corey house synthesis. Okay, so this is also a drawback of Woods reaction, that you cannot prepare carbons containing odd number, alkanes containing odd number of carbons. Okay, so that part is very important. And then we have got Fittig reaction. Fittig reaction is just like Woods reaction. Woods reaction is for haloalkanes. This is for haloarenes. Supposing you have got chlorobenzene, make it react with 2 moles of this, make it react with metallic sodium in dry ether medium. Then what do you get? Biphenyl, you will get like this. Like this you get. So that is what AR and AR. You can even write it as C6H5 bonded to C6H5. That is what you get. Now combination of this, Woods reaction, Wood-Fittig reaction will be this. So using this, you can prepare substituted benzenes. So this is a combination of this. Therefore, you should take both alkyl halide and aryl halide. Supposing you want this. You want toluene. So which are the two? You can take perhaps the alkyl halide as chlorobenzene, like this, and the alkyl halide as CH3Cl. So when you make it with metallic sodium, you are going to get toluene. So that is Woods-Fittig reaction. Sometimes they will give you in CET, they will give you which of the following is Woods-Fittig reaction, or maybe Fittig reaction, or Woods reaction. There is one more reaction which is called as Ullmann's reaction, which is also very simple to guess, very similar to this and simple only. So that is perhaps like this. Most of you must have studied that also. This is the Ullmann's reaction, just like Woods reaction, Fittig reaction rather. Generally used for aryl halides. Copper is used here instead of sodium. So you will be getting this. So this is Ullmann's reaction, generally used for the preparation of biphenyls. Then this is important. One question I had taken in the second session or so, activating and deactivating groups. Those groups which make the benzene ring more reactive than benzene itself. For electrophilic substitution, they are called as activating groups, like this. This one will be more reactive than benzene towards electrophilic substitution. Okay, so that is an activating group. All of you must be knowing this. And then you have got something called as deactivating. So deactivating group, supposing you have got either Cl or NO2. This is a deactivating group. So this one withdraws electrons and makes the benzene ring less reactive. So this one will be less reactive than benzene towards electrophilic substitution. So that is this kind of activating and deactivating effects. Supposing you have this compound, which is ethyl group is here, nitro group is here. So 1 ethyl, 4 nitrobenzene if you take, then if you make it react with bromine in presence of iron, electrophilic substitution should happen. Bromonium ion is the electrophile here. Sometimes they will ask you that also. Okay, electrophilic aromatic substitution, you should be able to identify the electrophiles. Supposing chlorination in presence of Fe or FeCl3, AlCl3, any of the Lewis acids you can take. So which is the electrophile that is generated there? Cl plus, chloronium ion, right? So Friedel-Crafts alkylation, carbocation is the electrophile. Acylation, supposing you use this, CH3COCl, then this will be the electrophile. So all these things you should be able to identify. Nitration, NO2 plus, nitronium ion is the electrophile. Sulfonation, SO3, be very careful with this. This is the electrophile. Okay, so in this case, Br plus is the electrophile. Which position it should go to? Any student can help me out with this? Activating and deactivating effects. If you want to put Br plus, where do you put? You can put it and show it to me in the benzene ring. Which position Br plus should come? Alkyl groups are ortho-para directing. Para position is occupied. Only ortho position is left. Nitro group is electron withdrawing, therefore meta directing. So this position, for two reasons, it is activated. Whether you put it here or yes, very good. That's correct. Yes. Or here, both are same. Okay. So perhaps you will get this compound. So this is what is activating and deactivating effect. CH2, CH3, NO2 is there, not a problem. So you will get it at the meta position, which is also ortho to ethyl group. So Br should come here. That is very important. Okay. Now, how are you going to, I will give you some tips to identify this. It is always the magnitude of R effect. Some students study this as M. Both are same actually. There is a very small difference I will tell you at the end of this session. Okay. So R resonance or M, magnitude of this will be highest. Then comes your resonance effect is highest, then comes your hyperconjugation, then comes your inductive effect. The magnitude of resonance will be much higher than inductive. So if you have two groups, one showing resonance plus or minus immaterial, another one showing inductive effect plus or minus immaterial, you are supposed to consider this R effect. Okay? Okay. Then supposing this question. Dipole moments, I told you in the first session itself, that is in when I took the previous one, that is haloalkanes. I told you that dipole moment, how it is going to affect. I mean, how the CF bond or CX bond if you take. Okay. Now in this case, supposing you want to arrange toluene metachlorobenzene, orthodichlorobenzene, metadichlorobenzene, orthodichlorobenzene, paradichlorobenzene you have got. If you want to arrange them, say in the increasing or decreasing order of their dipole moment, how would you do that? That is a question. So for that, what you are supposed to do? You are supposed to consider the direction of the dipoles. If it is CH3, because it is sp3, sp2, this will be more electronegative. So dipole will be in this direction. Supposing if you consider orthodichlorobenzene, chlorine is there, chlorine is here, the dipoles are in this direction. Okay, and the resultant will be here. You do it in physics, right? Now, in this case, supposing if you take metadichloro, so you have got Cl here, Cl over there, here the bond angle is 60, here in this case it is 120. So similarly here, the dipoles are in this direction and the resultant will be in this direction. And if you take the para isomer, so in this case, it will be Cl there, Cl over here. You can say that it is going to be 0 because this will be in this direction, this will be in this direction. Okay, this is 0. You can say that this is 0. In this case, it is not 0. Mu not equal to 0. In these two cases also, mu not equal to 0. But if the dipole moments are like this, not getting cancelled, or in the same direction, then you should see the angle, bond angle. If the bond angle is lower, then the dipole moment will be higher. So which means the highest dipole moment I will see here for orthodichlorobenzene. It is like this. You can see the values also. Okay, let me rub off all these things. Fine. Okay, so ortho will have 2.54 dBi, highest. Then comes meta, 1.72. Then comes your para isomer, which is 0. And toluene is 0.4, somewhere it is here. So definitely, if you want to arrange them, say in the increasing or decreasing order, whatever order you want to choose. Supposing you want to arrange this in the increasing order, how would you do that? Anybody? You can write it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can write them in that. Say you are arranging them in the increasing order. So orthodichlorobenzene must come at the end. Yes. Very good. 4 less than. Meta comes first. Then I think 4 less than, yes, 2. Then your toluene. And then this. Very, very important. Repeated question. Instead of toluene, they might take benzene. Benzene also 0 dipole moment. Okay. So that way, this dipole moment concept is important. If you can lay your hands on that, then do more problems based on that. Okay. Yes. Let me clear these drawings, and then perhaps we can go to the next one. Yes. In this case. So this is for your reference. So which are all the compounds which have got higher or lower dipole moments? For that you have got all this. Benzene is 0. Chlorobenzene is 1.7. Then you have got this as 0. We just know we did it. OH is not 0. And this one is also not 0. Whereas this one is 0. Anybody would like to tell me? OH groups are also on the para position. The dipoles also will be in this direction, but still it is not 0. Why? What is the reason for that? We have got a question based on that. There I will explain that. Okay?
Miss.
Yes.
It's phenol and OH group attached to para group.
Both are similar, isn't it? Dichloro and dihydroxy. They're at the para position. One has got dipole moment 0, another one has got very high dipole moment. Highly polar molecule, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll take. I got a question one or two questions. I will explain it there. Okay. Yes. Take up this. Now in this case, see the difference. One is the dipoles are in this direction. You also must see the direction of dipole moments. There is a methyl group and chloro. This is adding together, and therefore this compound, even though they are para to each other, it has got maximum dipole moment. Then comes your meta, and then comes your ortho. Okay. Any doubt here? Yes, we'll move ahead. Now, in this question, now when you take the living group capability, you must have heard about this. I is a very good living group. Supposing you have got these two compounds, CH3Cl, say CH3I, and make these react with, say, aqueous KOH, KOH aqueous. This one would leave earlier. So this reaction, rate of reaction with this compound will be higher than this, because I minus, it should come out as I minus. This I minus is capable of managing its negative charge because it is a big ion. Whereas in case of aryl halides, it is the reverse. F minus is a very good leaving group. Okay, F minus, then comes your Cl minus, then comes your Br minus, then comes your I minus. You should remember that. That is only because of the double bond character. Perhaps it is going to get. Already it is very small, and then there are lone pairs of electrons, there will be repulsion. And therefore, it is a very good leaving group in this case. So now if you subject, considering that fact, which I explained just now, so you take up the first question and find out what is the product, possible product found here. You have got OCH3 there. OCH3 is a nucleophile, which one is waiting to substitute. What is the product formed? Which one do you think is substituted? F or Br? Anyone would like to answer this question? F. Anybody else? Now see here, there is one more factor which you need to consider. In case of haloarene, substitution is not very easy, isn't it? Because of the double bond character. You must have an electron withdrawing group at the para position or at the ortho position. If you have an electron withdrawing group at the meta position, it can exercise only minus I effect. It cannot exercise minus R effect because resonance will be there. But that effect will not change the electron density on this carbon if it is in the meta position. And therefore, even though F is a better leaving group than Br minus, NO2 is meta to it. So its electron withdrawing effect can change the electron density of this carbon, make this carbon little more positive and not this. It can only exercise minus I effect to this fluorine. And hence it becomes difficult to substitute. See, very important concept it is. For NEET, you may not be getting this question for CET. For NEET, yes. Followed this one? If you have not followed, you ask me. I will explain it once again.
Ma'am, explain it once again, ma'am.
Yes. So in alkyl halides and aryl halides, the leaving group capability is exactly opposite. In aryl halides, F minus will be a very good leaving group compared to Cl minus, then Br minus, then I minus. Okay? Because of its small size and electron-electron repulsion. But this depends upon whether it has got electron withdrawing group at the ortho and para position or not. Then only it can leave. Otherwise, it is very difficult to substitute haloarenes. Nucleophilic substitution becomes difficult, isn't it? Now, in this compound, supposing if you had this F, and if I had asked you this question, NO2, and you have got this NO2 here, Cl and NO2 here. If I had asked the question, which one is more reactive towards this nucleophilic substitution with OCH3 minus, automatically you would have said yes. That is correct. This is more reactive than the other one because NO2 is at the para position for both of them and F is a very good leaving. But here in the question which I have given you, the NO2 group is at the meta position, isn't it? So meta position, it is not enough to withdraw electrons and make this carbon more positive. And therefore, invariably, it has to settle for Br minus. So it will substitute only Br. So in this compound, in this reaction, you are going to get NO2 here, and then OCH3 here, F here. So for those of you who want to learn as to what is the effect of NO2 being at the meta position and at the orthopara position, for them, you are supposed to write the resonating structures and then see. I'll show you how to write one or two structures, okay? And then perhaps you can do it, right? So say take up the second one. Let me clear this. Now it is understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, you were asking something. Okay, this is an interesting concept and a very simple one, but only thing is you need to understand 2-3 concepts here. Okay, if you understand that, you will be able to answer this. Can I get an S from all the students who are participating?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now take up this. Afterwards, I will
Yes,
write
ma'am.
the resonating structures. I will make you write it. Yes, take up this one. What is the product formed here? I is in the side chain. Cl is directly bonded to benzene ring. C2H5O O minus. DMF, dimethyl formamide, which is a polar aprotic solvent, which always helps SN2. Polar aprotic solvents. They are going to help SN2 reaction. Polar protic solvents like water, methanol, these are going to help SN1. These are all protic solvents. H plus ion will come out. That is going to interact with the nucleophile. We don't want any reagent to interact with the nucleophile in SN2 because that will be the part of rate determining step, isn't it? So DMF. Do you know what is DMF? Dimethyl formamide, right? How do you remember this? Formic acid is this. HC double bond OH. Okay, amide of this. HC double bond O NH2. Amide of this. Formamide. Now you are supposed to substitute these two hydrogens with methyl group. C double bond O N CH3 CH3. Why I am telling you this? This is dimethyl formamide. Why I am telling you this is sometimes they will give you only the structure and ask you which of the following solvents favor SN1 or SN2 reaction. For that you should know the structure of all these. DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide. That is also another reagent. Dimethyl sulfoxide. S double bond O CH3. Just like SO3. Okay, two methyl groups. Dimethyl sulfoxide, DMSO. This is also polar aprotic solvent which helps SN2. Okay, so this is how you're going to remember all this. Fine. So now in this reaction, what is the answer for this? SN2 reaction must happen. If SN2 must happen, it must happen with this one because this is 1 degree, isn't it? Two hydrogens are there. So Cl in any case, NO2 is here, it cannot substitute this. Isn't it? And therefore, the product formed would be this very important concept. You have got OC2H5. Coming here, NO2 is there intact, and then you have got Cl here. Not okay. If it were to be like this, the same compound were to be like this, you have got this I here, then NO2 here, then Cl here. Okay, then perhaps this would have got, both would have got substituted because it is going to help SN2, this one and this one also. You should have excess of this. That's all. Okay. Any doubt? Move ahead. Okay. So now let's go to the next one. That is this one. This is elimination reaction. You know elimination. Perhaps if they ask you in the CET exam, the question could be like this. That is, say for example, I have got this compound. You have got this compound. This is your Cl. You have got a D here. You have got CH3 there and hydrogen here. Okay. Now perhaps they would have asked you this. You are using alcoholic KOH. What is the product formed? In that case, you would have used Sedzeff rule. Dehydrohalogenation happens. You should be getting a more substituted alkene. Perhaps this is the one. Isn't it? This hydrogen would go with this and this bond shifts here. And the minor product would be, there is one more hydrogen here, isn't it? That can go. Because it is very easy to break a CH bond rather than the CD bond. This bond can be broken easily. And therefore, you can get one more product, which is the CH3 and a double bond here. This is not as substituted as this one is. This will be a minor product. If this question asked in this manner, you can very easily write this. This is the major product, isn't it? This is the major product. Am I right? Correct? But if I have given like this, then it is expected that you should know how the elimination reaction happens. Elimination is always anti. In the sense, the groups or atoms which are being removed, which are being eliminated, should be as far apart as possible, anti to each other. So then OH minus, it is easy for the base to take away the proton. So anti-elimination you should be looking for, right? So if it is anti, so you can see here, this hydrogen is in the same direction as that of this. Both of them are solid wedge. This hydrogen is also on the same direction. So this is not in the correct geometry, correct position for elimination. So the only thing it can do is this D, which is behind this chlorine, is coming towards to the front, and hence they are far apart from each other. So OH minus will come and take away this, and therefore you should be getting a double bond here. That means your final product here will be like this. This is double bond here, and then there is a CH3 group. There is no D in the final product. Okay, so this is the concept which you should understand, which is generally asked in NEET and other competitive examination. Okay, any doubt here? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. I will explain it once again, not a problem. Very important concept. Hope it is easy to understand, not difficult also. You should look for the hydrogens which are far apart from which are anti to each other. Anti to each other means one should be to the front, another one going behind, isn't it? So that kind of this one you should. Supposing if the compound is like this, supposing you have got the Cl like this, okay, and you have got a hydrogen here like this, which is also going behind, then hydrogen here going behind, then you have got a CH3 here, again a CH3 there. Then in this case, no elimination is possible. Okay, you don't have hydrogens in the proper position. Okay, they should be anti to each other. Fine, hope you all followed this, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
to the questions here. Yeah, first question. The order of reactivity of phenyl magnesium bromide with the following compounds is. Grignard reagent it is, isn't it? It is an organometallic compound, C6H5MgBr. So what is so special about this? MgBr, the magnesium is an electropositive metal. So this end of the molecule will be slightly negative, positive, and this carbon will be slightly negative. Easiest way of generating phenyl carbanion. So that phenyl carbanion should attack the carbonyl compound, carbonyl carbon, because the carbonyl group is, this bond is polar. So slightly negative because oxygen is more electronegative, this will be slightly positive. So you should be expecting pH minus should come and form a bond, in which case it is easier. So you also should consider the steric hindrance there. Supposing if it is like this, big groups are present, even this one is bigger, it cannot approach the carbonyl carbon only, isn't it? From where it will go? If tiny hydrogens are there, like an aldehyde, formaldehyde, very tiny. Now there is a lot of space. This can go and form a bond very easily. So you should look for, first of all, the polarity of the bond. And then you should look for steric hindrance. Aldehydes, in aldehydes, the CO bond is more polar than in ketones. And hence, and there is one tiny hydrogen, yes, that is correct. 1 greater than 2 greater than 3. 2 phenyl groups. Phenyl groups are little electron withdrawing also, isn't it? Can make this carbon little more positive, but The steric factor is very, very high there, and hence it is least reactive. Therefore, your correct option is option 1, correct. Students have answered that, okay? Fine. Now let's go to the next question. That is also a simple one. This. Consider the reactions. You have got 4 reactions. The mechanism of only 2 reactions. The mechanism of reaction 1 and 2 are respectively. What do you have to say about the mechanism? In one, the nucleophile is ethanol, in the other one it is ethoxide. That is the only difference. What is the difference here if you use ethanol and ethoxide? Ethanol is a neutral molecule and hence it is less nucleophilic than ethoxide ion. C2H5OH is a weaker nucleophile compared to C2H5O minus. Understandable because it has got more electron density, isn't it? That is the only thing. Otherwise, the products are of same type, reactants are similar, same reactant rather, only difference is this. What is the correct second one? Somebody is saying SN1 and SN2. Okay, any other answer? It is both SN2 because it is a 2 degree halo. It is a 1 degree haloalkane basically. Okay, in this case, yes, that's correct. Because it is 1 degree, even if it is a weak nucleophile, you can still expect SN2 to happen. SN1 doesn't happen with 1 degree because 1 degree carbocation is highly unstable. Takes a lot of time for its formation. Yes, that's correct. It's a repeated question, so be very careful. In addition to that, you can even see it is ethanol. Ethanol is a weak nucleophile, but still in this reaction, it can bring about SN2 reaction, okay? Yes, now we shall move on to the next question, that is this. The product of the following reaction is, yes. Any answer? You must have got these questions before. Did you go through this? What do you think? What is the correct option here? Third one? Okay, and here are the options. This is the option which is below. Here you should choose. 3 only. Somebody is saying only 3. Any other answer? Sometimes they can even ask you the intermediate that is found in this particular reaction. You should know that in. Somebody is saying 2, only 3, then, okay. So now let's see what is the intermediate that is found here. NaNH2, you have got NH2 minus as the base. It is a very strong base. So this strong base, what it does, this carbon OCH3 is there. Let it be there, not a problem. This bond, it is polar, little bit polar, isn't it? This will be slightly negative. This will be slightly positive. So because of which this proton here, which is there, it becomes little acidic. And this NH2 is quite basic, very strong base. Takes away this. Then what happens? This bond shifts here. Ultimately, eventually this goes out. So you will be getting a benzene. The intermediate that is formed here is a benzene. OCH3 is here, very, very important. Those of you who have not studied about this, you better make a note of this. Okay, this is the benzene. So this is a cyclic alkyne. But here, because it is a cyclic compound, this triple bond is not quite stable. So this one of the pi bonds here can break and the electron density can go to, it is equal chance for it to go to those 2 carbons. It could be like this. It can break, 2 bonds are there, it can go to this carbon or it can also go to the other carbon. It is equally feasible. OCH3. Okay, so it can come here also. In the next step, in this case, this is the benzene form. So when it happens, the other carbon here, that hydrogen which you are speaking about, okay? Triple bond should break, and then the nucleophile will come and form a bond either here or there. Okay, this carbon will be, getting positive charge, relatively more positive compared to the other one, isn't it? Okay. So your NH2 can come here, or the NH2 can go to the other one also, isn't it? So that is how, because in this case, the benzene is the intermediate that is formed. So you have a chance of getting para substituted as well as this one, ortho substituted. Both are possible. 1 and 3 are equally possible. Very good. Sometimes I will ask you the intermediate form. You should be able to answer that. Benzene is the intermediate that is formed. Okay. Fine. Any doubt here? Very important one, especially from the point of view of need. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. That is this question. Yeah. Which of the following is correct? I should put these a little bit here. Okay. Correct decreasing order of nucleophilic substitution in the following compounds. Yes. Nucleophilic substitution. Any answer for this? Of course, this is the best reagent for nucleophilic substitution. All of you know that. And these two are electron releasing groups. That too, plus R effect. This one also shows plus R effect. Which is the one which shows better plus R effect, more plus R effect? That will be least reactive. OCH3, oxygen is there. Some amount of electron density will be coming from CH3 group as well because of inductive effect. So compared to OH, OCH3, so this will be a better, electron donating group than oxygen, isn't it? So therefore it has got more electron density, it wants to push it out. Therefore this will be the least reactive. And hence, what should be the correct answer? 2 greater than 1, greater than 3, greater than 4. Correct? Yes. Okay. If I had given you CH3 here, you would have identified it easily, isn't it? But when you have to decide about plus R effect, you should be very careful there. Okay. Yes. Then let's go to the next one. Yeah. In the following reaction, C6H5CH2Br, I have got magnesium ether as the first reagent, H3O plus, hydrolysis, of course, in acid medium is the second reagent, you are getting X here. What is the product X? What do you think X is? Anybody who has done this problem? This question? Yes. First one, somebody has said this. This is correct actually. What exactly happens? You will get C6, H5, CH2, MgBr. This is the Grignard reagent that is formed in the first reagent. Now you are hydrolyzing this using H2O. You will get the same product whether you use H2O or you use C2H5OH or any other alcohol, or you use acetylene or any terminal alkyne. Like this you can use C triple bond CH. You can use this also. So any of these reagents which can give H plus ions, perhaps you can use even phenol, OH or NH3. This also gives to some extent H plus ions. Any of these reagents which are protic in nature, this will react with all these. I mean, any one of those, you will get the corresponding hydrocarbon CH3. Okay. Here it is easy for you to identify. Sometimes instead of H3O plus, they might give you this. Like this, CH3, C triple bond CH. Then you will be confused what happens. It is only, you should see whether it is a protic solvent or not, or protic reagent or not. That's all. Okay, so then you will get this. All of you understood this? An important one. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, now we will go to the next question. That is this. The product D in the following reaction is, yes. Think and answer. Slowly you do it. So whenever you use KMnO4 in basic medium, it is a benzyl carbon which is going to be oxidized. You will get COOH. Immaterial, what group you have. It is true even if you have this group, even if it is like this, CH double bond CH2, then also this will be oxidized. You will still get benzoic acid. Only thing is you should have a benzylic carbon, that's all. COOH. Okay. That is the first one, benzoic acid. Then you are making it react, that is electrophilic aromatic substitution you are doing with this, correct? Br2 in presence of FeCl3. So electrophilic aromatic substitution. Where do you think the Br plus electrophile will come? Bromonium ion will come and form a bond. Meta or ortho para?
Ortho.
COOH group is an electron withdrawing group, isn't it? Any group which has got unsaturated C double bond OOH, right? This withdraws electrons, this will in turn withdraw electrons. It's an electron withdrawing. And hence it is meta-directing, right? Therefore, your Br should come here. Then what are you doing with this acid? You are making it react with C2H5OH in presence of an acid. Esterification must happen. So esterification happens with the COOH group. So then you will get, nothing happens to your Br, which will be present at the beta position, intact. C double bond O, then O, C2H5. This is the product. Ester, ethyl ester of benzoic acid. Yes, that is the product. Okay. Any doubt? In fact, if it were to be a CET question, perhaps they would have stopped either here or here. Okay, fine. Let's go to the next one, is this. In the reaction of toluene with chlorine in presence of FeCl3 gives X. And the reaction in presence of light gives Y. X and Y are. This is a repeated question in different ways. The same question can be asked like this. You have got CH3. Make it react with SO2Cl2 and heat. And then make it react with Cl2 in presence of Fe. What is the product form? This is thionyl chloride. Not thionyl, sulfuryl chloride. Thionyl chloride will be SOCl2. So this is a substance, a compound which is used for free radical substitution. If it is free radical substitution, then substitution must happen with the side chain. You will get CH3, CH2Cl. Nothing happens to the benzene. So now these two CH also can be substituted. Okay, when this also can be substituted, you will get CCl3. This is the product. But in this case, chloronium ion electrophile is generated which is going to substitute the benzylic hydrogen. Orthopara position, Cl plus this. Parachloro, CH3C. This is the difference. You should be able to identify the reagents. If they give you like here Cl2H nu, you will be able to identify. It is true for Cl2 delta. This will also bring about free radical substitution. Sulfuryl chloride is a very good reagent for free radical substitution. Okay, because this bond can be broken homolytically very well. Yes. Orthoparachlorotoluene. Orthoparachlorotoluene, Y is trichloromethyl benzene. That's correct. Option 3 is correct. Okay. And if for bromination, you can still use this one, N-bromosuccinimide. This is also going to bring about free radical substitution. NBS, N-bromosuccinimide. You can use this also. You should be able to identify the reagent. That's it. Okay. So in this particular question, the correct option is option 3. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is this question. Yeah. The correct order of increasing reactivity of CX bond towards a nucleophile in the following compound is. What is the order of reactivity towards a nucleophile? That is a question. What should be the correct one? Nucleophilic substitution is little difficult with aromatic compounds. So therefore, these two will be definitely less reactive than these two. First, you write the order of reactivity of these two, and then you can come back to this. But then you also must consider this one. There are two NO2 groups. That fact also you must be considering, isn't it? That is the 1, 2, greater than 1, greater than 3, greater than 4. Any other answer? Nucleophilic substitution. Okay. Yes. So we have got some interesting thing about this. I will show you that. So in this case, this is the reactivity. Okay. So 3 is the most reactive one. Then 4. And then 2. And then 1. Least reactive would be first. So the correct option is, which is the correct option here? Yes, correct. First. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question, which is this. Molecules whose mirror image is non-superimposable over them are called chiral. Which of the following molecules is chiral in nature? Yes. A chiral compound must have 4 groups, different groups bonded to carbon. Supposing you have got OH. This is hydrogen. This is CH3. Yes, this is C2H5. 2-bromopropane 2-ol. Let's write the structure here. You got a Br there. You got a OH here. This is what is your 2-bromopropane 2-ol. But these two groups are identical. It cannot be chiral. This is not chiral. These two groups are identical. 4 different groups must be there. Then only it is possible. 2-bromobutane. 2-bromobutane, let's take up this one and this one. This is Br. Yes, one side you have got 2-bromopropane. 2-bromopropane will be like this. Just like to this one, isn't it? So you have got Br here, CH3 there, CH3. These two groups are still the same. So it cannot be, isn't it? This is correct. 2-bromobutane is correct. This is the chiral carbon here. Okay. Now supposing if I write the structure here, you all got the answer here. Okay. This one is left. This one bromobutane cannot be. C, C and C and C, Br. These two are hydrogen same. So it cannot be also chiral. So the only chiral compound here is 2-bromobutane. Okay. Now in that, what are the other things that are important? You have got this. Supposing I write this. This is your Br, 2-bromo. This is your C2H5. This is your CH3. And this one is hydrogen. What is the configuration? This is your chiral carbon. What is the configuration of this? Br gets the priority, first priority. Then comes C2H5 second priority. This one is the third. This one will be the fourth. So you are supposed to move like this. When you move like this, you are moving clockwise. Therefore, R configuration, correct? And its mirror image will have S configuration. You can try it out. Br, C2H5 is here. CH3 over there. Hydrogen is here. This is the first priority, second, and the third, and the fourth. So you are supposed to be moving like this, anti-clockwise, isn't it? S configuration. So that is how you are going to identify. You can even do it with a 3-dimensional structure, okay? Now supposing you have got hydrogen like this. And your Br is like this. Br is coming towards you like this. Okay? And these are the two normal bonds, which is CH3 and then C2H5. Okay, so you are supposed to watch the molecule from the end, which is opposite to the least priority group. Like this, you are supposed to watch. Give priority. This is the first priority, this is the second, this is the third. You are supposed to be moving like this, clockwise. So R configuration. Or if you want to convert this one to 2-dimensional structure, what do? The normal bonds will be the vertical bonds. I got C2H5 here, CH3 there. And this is the chiral carbon. So hydrogen is on the left hand side, put it over here. Br is on the right hand side, put it over there. So then this will be the first priority, this will be the second, this will be the third. You are supposed to be moving like this. It is giving you S configuration, but hydrogen is on the horizontal line. See to it that hydrogen comes to the vertical line, because out of plane bonds should be in the horizontal line and vertical. The least priority group should be in the vertical line. So that is the reason you should take the opposite one. This will be R configuration. Okay. Got it? Any doubt? These are all asked. How the question is asked? I will tell you this. Supposing they will give you this. This is your Cl. Say this is your hydrogen. This is your CH3. This is your C2H5. They will give you 4 options here. Which of the following compound has the same configuration as that of A? They will name this as A. The 4 options will be there. So for that, what you do? You are supposed to identify the configuration of this compound and then the configuration of the option that is given to you and find out which is the correct one. Okay? Any doubt here?
No.
Okay, fine. Let's move on to the next one. That is this one. Yes. Which of the following reactions produces propane as a major product? Propane as a major product. Yes. Any answer? This one is Kolbe electrolysis, isn't it? In Kolbe electrolysis, it is going to form free radical mechanism. That is also important. CH3, CH2, CH2, C, double bond O, it becomes O minus. At the cathode, it is going to lose 1 electron and it is going to become a free radical. Okay, this will be a free radical. At the anode, it loses a proton. It will be like this. Now, when this is like this will force this bond to open up homolytically so that it can form carbon dioxide. So you have got this free radical now. CH3, CH2, CH2, free radical plus CO2. Now, two such free radicals will combine to form a higher alkane. So, alkane formed will be having the double the number of carbons, just like your Woods reaction. That is exactly what happens in coal-base reaction. So, you will not get propane. What about this? Thermal decarboxylation. In this case, of course, you are going to get, this is removed and you will get the propane here. CH3, one carbon less than the reactant. CH2, CH3 you will get. Yes, this will keep. What about this one? What kind of reaction is this? 2 and 3, somebody has said this. That is correct. This is reduction. When you reduce this, again, you are going to get propane. Okay? So this will not be in this case. It will give an in this case, both the bromine will be removed here. So the zinc has got a lot of affinity for that. So you will get an alkene there. Okay, so therefore this is the problem. That's correct. Correct option is 2 and 3. And this one is important. Why it is important? Because sometimes they will ask you, which of the following reactions follow free radical mechanism? So if Kolbe electrolysis is there, that is one such reaction. Okay? Any doubt? Let me remove all this, go to the next question. This one. Potassium iodide in acetone undergoes SN2 reaction with P, Q, R, and S. The rates of reaction vary as. Yes. SN2 reaction. Any answer? PQ greater than this. Why P? Because it is primary. Okay, any other answer? P greater than, R greater than, Q greater than S. Why do you think S is least reactive? I would have accepted that if it were to be like this. Cl, then yes. But here what happens? See, there is a carbonyl group. It is an electron withdrawing. Makes this carbon more positive, and therefore nucleophile can substitute that. In fact, this is the best reagent that is most reactive among all this. Okay, in all the other cases, you are seeing CCl bond being polar only because of the electronegativity difference. But in this case, electronegativity difference coupled with an electron withdrawing group next. Okay, S greater than P greater than S greater than P greater than R greater than Q. Okay, any other answer we have? Okay. Okay, let's see the reactivity of this. In fact, the secondary one will be, let me show you this. See this. The reactivity order is like this. In fact, this is the next one, and next one is this. Least reactive will be Q. You can make a note of this fact because it is, you don't study this actually, this particular. So why it is actually more reactive, that you can see there. Okay, where is the question? The question is here. This, you can make a note of this as to why this carbon becomes little more positive than in the other cases. Okay, you can just have a fair idea as to which one is most reactive. Okay, so then therefore our correct option has to be S greater than P greater than S. In this case, it is easy to identify if you know the one of them. But in two of them, if it is given, then these two will be, you should be able to see. Okay, this is also an electron withdrawing group, makes this one little more positive. Okay, right. Any doubt here? Move ahead. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Take up this. A compound A. This is a very important question. I want all of you to pay attention and answer this. A compound A, C8H9Br, gives a white precipitate when warmed with alcoholic AgNO3. Oxidation of A gives an acid B, C8H6O4. B easily forms an anhydride on heating. Identify compound E. Your hint is here. The hint for the entire question is there. Easily forms anhydride. Gives a white precipitate when warmed with alcoholic KOH, which means the Br should be in the side chain. It cannot be directly bonded to the benzene ring. So this is ruled out. Then, which is the second one? Easily forms an anhydride means the COOH groups. There should be two COOH groups and they must be ortho to each other. Then only it can easily form an anhydride. Anhydride means we should be able to remove a water molecule from here, like this. Okay? So which means the 2C which we are seeing, C6, and the number of hydrogens which you are seeing here shows that it has to be aromatic. And if you like, you are going to study only the benzene ring here, isn't it? So benzene ring, if you put 6 carbons are over, the 2 carbons must be present ortho to each other like this. Then only it can be, these become 2 benzylic carbons. They will be oxidized easily to this acid. Oxidation of A gives. So therefore, the compound should be CH2, 1Br should be there in the side chain. Then only it can give a precipitate with AgNO3. You can say that it is yellow, white precipitate it is given. You can say that it is pale yellow precipitate because it is Br, okay? They may not sometimes give you a color also, precipitate is formed. So nucleophilic substitution happens, Br is going to react with Ag to form AgBr, which appears as precipitate. So this has to be CH3. So you can see that this will give you the correct formula which is given in the question. And therefore this should be the correct option, yes. Okay, yes. Let's move to the next one. This is the compound. Which of the following molecules has a non-zero dipole moment? Mu not equal to 0. Yes. This is 0. We just now saw this. That one, non-zero, correct. Any other one? Only C. Any other answer? D also? C and D are similar compounds. SH, OH. O and S belong to the same family, same group. Group 16 elements, isn't it? These two are linear. Even C triple bond N, it becomes C triple bond N. C triple bond N. So the dipole moment will be in this direction. And hence, mu equal to 0. But in this case, what happens? Oxygen has got lone pairs there. This becomes OH. It is not a linear molecule. Similarly here, O and H doesn't get cancelled here. Same thing with SH also. S is also having, just like oxygen, two lone pairs, H. Yes, H. That is the reason both of them, C and D. So your correct option has to be option 2. Yes. Take it as option 2, this one. C and D, this one and this one. Non-linear molecule. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. This is the one which I gave you just now. The major organic compound formed by the reaction of 1,1,1-trichloroethane with silver powder is, you have got this, Cl, 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 CH3 plus Ag. What is the product formed here? Any idea? Silver has got a lot of affinity for halogens. So what it does, silver gives one electron to this, takes away this Cl, takes away this Cl, takes away this Cl. So basically 2-butene, any other answer? All the 3 hydrochlorines you should remove. Bring in one more such ion. 6 moles of this you need. Yes, 2-butyne. This is the product. Okay. C triple bond C, CH3. This is the product form. So your correct option has to be option 1. Okay, fine. Let's go to the next question, which is question number 15. In the following sequence of reactions, the product C is, let me say, C you can easily identify. Let me write it as D. Make it as product D is. Change your question. Product D is. Any answer? What is the form? Acetic acid. Very good. Acetaldehyde. Somebody is saying acetaldehyde. Let's see. CH3, CN you will get first. Hydrolysis, cyanides give acid, CH3COOH. Then it is lithium aluminum hydride, it can reduce acid to alcohol, CH3CH2OH. Now this is a primary alcohol will be oxidized initially to aldehyde, CH3CHO, but it is a very strong oxidizing agent. So therefore, it will further gets oxidized to acid, COOH. So therefore, you are going to get acetic acid. Your answer is correct. Those who have marked acetaldehyde, your answer is correct if you are using a non-aqueous oxidizing agent. These are all aqueous oxidizing agents which are very strong, like KMNO4, K2Cr2O7. These are the 2 aqueous ones. Supposing if you use instead of this PCC, which is in a non-aqueous medium, pyridinium chlorochromate, then the reaction stops at acetaldehyde stage. No further oxidation happens. Okay? Yes. What is the formula product form when you oxidize this alkene using KMNO4, when you make it react with KMNO4? CH2, CH, single bond, CH, double bond, CH2. What do you get? This as acid. This will also acid is formed and further gets converted to carbon dioxide and water. That is that much strong it is. Okay, you have to break this here. Put O and O here, isn't it? So you know how to do that. Okay, let's take it up once we do. Perhaps aldehydes and ketones. Okay, there we shall consider. Okay, so the correct option here is this one. Any doubt here? Very important one. This is your D. Hope you have changed this. D. Okay. The next one. In an SN1 reaction on chiral center, there is 100% retention, 100% inversion, 100% racemization, inversion more than retention, leading to partial racemization. What is your correct option? First one, 100% retention. SN1 reaction. Inversion more than retention leading to racemization. In fact, that is the correct option, but let's see why it happens. Now, supposing you have got this. Now, say you have got, that's correct. You have got a Cl here, you have got hydrogen, you have got CH3, and then C2H5. This has to undergo SN1 reaction, isn't it? When OH comes and substitutes this, what exactly happens is, this is going to form a carbocation. That is what we think. If complete carbocation is formed, then there will be racemization, because carbocation is a planar species with p orbital, vacant p orbital there. So the incoming nucleophile can form a bond either from this side or from this side. Depending upon that, you are going to get both the isomers, R and S, both are formed. And hence racemization happens. That is going to happen provided you have got a fully formed carbocation. But actually reaction, what happens during the process of formation of carbocation, this chlorine has left the molecule, but it is still there in the vicinity of this. It is there only, it has not moved out. Okay, it is there like this, Cl minus. Therefore, the incoming nucleophile cannot approach from this side till the time it goes out. And therefore, it has to come from behind. And hence, inversion will be little more than retention. So that is the reason. So therefore, the correct option has to be option 4, as most of you have marked. And as I explained, you know the reason also why it happens now. The major product of the following reaction is, what is the product? First, you need to protonate this. Okay, you have got the CH3 there, deuterium there. This becomes OH2 plus. So therefore, this will come out and you are going to get a carbocation like this. This will be CH3, this will be D, and a positive charge. Now what it does, rings expansion happens, this will form a bond with this. Therefore, this carbon gets a positive charge. And hence, it is going to become a 6-membered ring. You have got CH3 here. And then the D is bonded to the same carbon, positive charge here. Or here, whichever side you want. And then I minus will come and form a bond with this positively charged carbocation. So your I should be there, and then CH3, and then D. So what should be the correct option here? I has formed a bond, yes. We don't have the correct option here, isn't it? Yes, this is that's correct. Okay, any doubt here? Always when you have a 5-membered ring and a carbocation, if there is any choice to become 6-membered, it happens. So you should look for that, because 6-membered ring is little more stable than 5-membered ring. Okay, and therefore your correct option is option 3. Fine. Let's move on to the next question. This one. The total number of substitution and elimination products formed in the following reaction is. How many of you have done this? You have got a strong nucleophile. It is also a strong base. Alkoxides are both basic and they are good nucleophiles as well. So therefore, it can bring about both elimination and substitution. Because it is 2 degree, it can undergo SN1 and even SN. In either case, you should be getting 2 isomers. One is retention in configuration, another one is inversion in configuration, isn't it? So therefore, the product formed here is CH3, not a problem, it is there. So you will be getting one with retention in configuration, this becomes OCH3. The other one would be inversion in configuration. That is, OCH3 will be behind. This is your CH3, okay? One is a cis isomer, another one is a trans. This is trans and this is cis. This is what happens with substitution. When elimination happens, you have got protons here. Protons here also. This is the alpha carbon, this is the beta hydrogens. So OCH3 has got a choice now. It can take away this proton or it can take away this proton also. Depending upon that, you are going to get 2 isomers, which will be a double bond here with CH3 here, or you can even have CH3 there, and when this bond, this has to move here, a double bond. Both are possible. So these 2 isomers, these 2 isomers. So in total, you should get 4 isomers. That's correct. The next question. Yes. Aryl halides are less reactive towards nucleophilic substitution reaction because the formation of less stable carbonium ion, resonance stabilization, longer carbon halogen bonds, inductive effect, sp2 hybridization, carbon attached to the halogen. There are 5 reasons. And this is the option which is given. If it were to be CET, they would have given you 4 options and they would have asked you the most appropriate one, isn't it? A, B, and E. Okay, the formation of less stable carbonium. Carbonium ion is nothing but carbocation. That is correct. This one is correct. Resonance stabilization is also correct. Longer CCl, so in fact, it is shorter bond. Inductive effect is not there. You have got this. So A, B, and E, these are correct. That is true. Okay. So most of you have answered this. Let's move on to the next question. This one. The products of reaction of alcoholic silver nitrite with ethyl bromide are nitrite it is. Silver nitrite and KNO2, AgNO2, you must have studied this. Nucleophilic substitution happens. This is little more ion covalent than ionic. It will be like this, ON double bond. And even in KNO2, it becomes K plus ON double bond O, this is minus. So this is ionic, so oxygen will be forming a bond, you will get nitrite. But in this case, because oxygen is not quite free, it will form a bond with this, you will get a nitro compound. So you are going to get nitroethane. In addition to that, It is having more covalent character, but it is ionic also. So you will still get nitrite also. So therefore, you should be getting nitroethane, ethyl nitrite. That's correct. C and E. Let's go to the next question. I think we can take one more question. That is this. Benzyl chloride can be prepared from toluene by chlorination with which of the following reagents? Benzyl chloride it is. This compound. 3 and 4? Yes. This is sulfuryl chloride. This also brings about free radical substitution just like this. 3 and 4 is correct. The next question is this. This is an important one. A solution of plus chloro-2-phenyl ethane in benzene racemizes slowly in the presence of SbCl5 due to the formation of SbCl5 is a Lewis acid, electron deficient compound because of the presence of vacant d orbitals. So what is the intermediate that is formed? Carbene is like this, dichlorocarbene or carbocation. So you have got two carbocations, is it? So you can get carbanion, ANION. Is an anion, D is carbocation. So which is a reagent formed? Carbanion or carbocation? That's correct. Carbocation is formed. That is the reason it racemization, when you see, it will happen only and only when there is a planar intermediate that is formed. So it should be carbocation. Okay? Correct. I think there is one more question. This is an important one. Major product formed in the following compound is subjected to hydrolysis. Yes, which is the product? Hydrolysis means this Cl will be substituted. You will get this OH, that will not be the major product here. Aqueous acetone it is. So it is basically a protic solvent. So this will come out and a carbocation is formed here. You can see a carbocation rearrangement to a more stable benzyl. Okay. The problem would have been there if this were to be hydrogen oil as well. But to make it simpler, I have converted that one also to methyl. So which benzyl carbocation will be more stable? This one? The correct option here is this one. Okay, you will be getting this carbocation, basically, CH plus here. And you have got a OCH3 here. Because this is an electron releasing group, is going to stabilize this, isn't it? And therefore, this hydrogen shifts there. You are going to get a carbocation here and not here. Okay? And therefore, your correct option has to be this. You would have faced the problem. I made it easier actually, just because of this. Okay? I made this here. This also, if it is hydrogen, still you would have got this compound only. This is hydrogen. Okay? Hope all of you got this. Yes, it is looking very big, but the reaction is very simple. Yes or no? I think there is one more question. Yes, how many of you? I had not given you the options. Now you can see. It is a very strong nucleophile, just like phenoxide. This is S minus, very strong nucleophile. Nucleophilic substitution happens. Where do you think nucleophilic substitution must happen? This is ruled out because this is meta. It has to substitute this. Dimethyl formamide, showing that it is SN2. If it is SN2, very good. From behind. Inversion in configuration. Good. Okay. So it's almost time now. So we shall stop at this stage. Okay.